Hi, this video is the second in a series. I am iPad Wells online, or Richard Wells in real life, and I'm the author of iPadforschools.org. I post on lots of educational issues, but my most common, frequently asked question is, how do I make my infographics? So this is the second lesson on colour. You'll find all my infographics and this lesson on my blog, iPadforschools.org, and you may have seen some of these on Twitter or various other social media. So this second lesson is about what goes through my brain when I'm considering colours. I basically have three starting points. If it's a really basic how-to, I sometimes stick with even the primary sort of childlike colours. I think even grown-ups associate real beginner stuff with those colours, and it makes it more accessible. So that might be one idea. If you're trying to be a bit more serious or a bit more cool about it, this whole kind of black, white, grey with a single key colour, you'll see that used by cafes and cool magazines. So that's your sort of more serious idea. And then the third idea is to kind of go with one colour theme and use different hues from that colour. So you can see my blue theme here, and that kind of just any choice on those three just brings the infographic together and makes it look like a good, organised, well-designed piece of work. I sort of in the back of my mind have a sort of a 3-colour max rule, but that's really where I start with the palettes. So the second part of this lesson is about, once you've chosen your theme, how you can use some keynotes and Mac tricks to very quickly stick to your theme without too much workload. So the first one I mentioned in the first lesson, which is the option drag. So once you've designed an element and you've chosen that your theme might be black or orange like this, and holding down option on the keyboard and dragging those elements duplicates, of course, in that style. So you can very quickly build up a whole infographic following the same style. Okay, so copy and paste basically, but I always use option drag. But a cleverer way, if you start to use different shapes and things and you want to quickly style it, is to option command C and V. So on any other shape I can option command C and I can paste that style onto other shapes, including photos. So with photos, option command V now will paste that style I've copied and it will put that border around that photo. Okay, so we've got some real quick Mac tips there for sticking to your style. While I'm at this, I would just mention that your infographic can be divided into sections or different parts or topics by sticking to the same style but going with that second colour. The last thing I'd also mention is that even with single lines that aren't yet in style, or arrows for example, you can also command option V on those and it will paste that line style onto lines. So that makes it pretty quick and easy. So that's sticking to your theme. The third and final part of this lesson is the trickier issue of dealing with images. Images have a lot of colour in them, so they quite often fight with your theme. And so there are some little tricks you can use in Keynote to help bring the photo into your infographic smartly. The first one I've just mentioned about copying and pasting the style of borders, so you can give photos the same border as all the other elements and that will stick with your colour theme. That's the quickest and easiest option, but sometimes the actual colours in the photo compete too much with your infographic. Another option is to use your image adjust button on the toolbar. If you don't have that, it's available if you right click and customize your toolbar. You can drag it on and add it, but this gives you a whole load of simple photo color adjusts. The quickest and easiest of which is saturation. If it's really too much to deal with, just take that saturation off. You end up with a nice black and white image that's got no color competing, so instantly it looks a bit more professional and your border will tie that image to your infographic. But if you do need the color in that photo, or you want it to have some sort of color, you can take that saturation off and play around with the temperatures and the tints, and actually even have a go at tinting that image to match your color theme. Okay, so that's pretty cool. One other idea is to use your formatting, take the line off and use the opacity so that you can still have the image as part of your infographic, but it can become a background to the whole thing, and you can put your elements in front of this. I've done this on a number of occasions. Here's a photo in the background on this one and on that one. I even have it on my blog. Okay, so it can look fairly smart and fairly professional. It still means the picture's part of your infographic, but it won't compete with your elements. Okay, but the last and really most exciting option for images and color is to have the image as a starting point. And here it is in this picture with its bright reds and purples, and you can actually base your infographic on the exact reds and purples from that photo. So here we go. I have 3 elements in my infographic. Option drag for 3 circles there. And I want kind of a theme that's based on 3 colors that all come out of that photo. So with this first circle, I simplify it to a single color fill. I go to my advanced color picker, so rather than just pick a keynote color, I click on the color wheel, and down here I can use the droplet picker, and I can pick out one of the reds from this photo. I can click on another circle, go back to the color fill, go to the color wheel and pick out one of the lighter purples, and I can do the same again. So it's color fill, advanced color wheel, and I can pick out one of the darker purples. I've now got 3 really nice colors there with my 3 elements that perfectly match this photo. If I wanted to use them over this photo, I could use this lighter color if there's any sort of contrast competing there with tone. I can use the lighter color as a border. So I've now got my 3 colors going as my theme, and I can put a border around that. I don't want that red, that's not even the red from my photo. I can color pick the border from my middle circle, and now I've got this perfectly matching with my new color theme that's based around this photo. So anyway, that's dealing with images and dealing with color in my infographics. There is a infographic itself covering everything I've done in this video, which accompanies this post. So I hope you find it useful, and thanks for watching.